lobster, one of the most elusive but delicious catches we can get as spearfishers and freedivers. Powerful claws that also make fantastic eating. The claw meat is brilliant. They do pack a bit of a punch. It's important to take a bit of care when you're looking to catch one. Sometimes you'll find them in the open, scuttling around. They can be quite easy to catch, although of course, as most of you know, this is quite rare. You've had a great day if you find a lobster just out in the open like this. And more commonly, they're found in the open as the light levels begin to drop and the sun fades away. And often at this point you'll see the lobsters coming out of their holes on the search for food. They eat dead fish, dead crabs, anything that's died and fallen on the bottom. It's perfect for a lobster to get its claws into, rip apart and eat. And you can see one here in very, very shallow water, just as the sun's fading. And it quickly scoots away from me and escapes. With this one here, I catch it, you can see the pace of it. And this is one of those lobsters here. This is the first lobster that actually escaped first try, got it a bit later. You see here a really nice sized lobster just on my float. Two big powerful claws, didn't want to get too close to those, but this one made fantastic eating. But in the rest of this video we're going to look at how to catch them in the day. Generally they're found in pretty small holes and very tight caves. It's important to scan those carefully with your torch. Lobster could be in any of these little holes. Often once you've found one, you can place your spear gun near the hole to mark it, go back up to the surface and breathe up again in preparation. Now, one top tip is to look for areas that look like something's been digging. You can see here a heap of sand outside of that tunnel. There is a small lobster in there. And this is where they've burrowed out underneath the rock to create a better tunnel. On other occasions, they'll be much more obvious. See this massive claw just poking out here. This is a pretty big lobster. You see another one here just hiding away under this boulder. And most of the time they'll be in quite tight caves like this. Here's another example. This one was spotted from the surface in about 2 meters of water. Just poking its claws out, but if you shine the torch on them for too long, they'll tend to just retreat back into their tunnels. This one here, this is a huge lobster, very, very deep in its cave. You can actually see here how shallow the water is. This is in about 1 meter of water. And this next lobster, you'll just see its feeler poking out. Another telltale sign you've got one in there. Often it's the only thing you can see. Again in very, very shallow water. Now, one of the best ways to get lobster out is to use your spear to get in behind them and hook them out. They don't like anything in behind them. Here, the lobster had an exit tunnel to the right hand side in its cave, and I wedged the spear in to stop it getting through there. And that then allowed me to reach my hand through and just grab the lobster. It couldn't get into its exit tunnel, and it made it a lot easier to catch. Now they're quite strong. They seem to be able to wrap their tail around anything in their burrows, and you do have to pull quite hard sometimes to get one out. Here you can see the lobster caught nicely. And what you'll find as well sometimes is the claws will detach, but the claw can keep on pinching, and it can be quite painful. They sort of lock, almost like how I believe a pit bull's jaw locks. It can't just be undone, and you've just got to, sometimes let it relax, sometimes just pull it off, but they can still pinch you even with the claws attached. Now, this is a video showing me catching the large clawed lobster from earlier. This was in quite a shallow cave, but despite that, it was pretty difficult getting this lobster out, and sometimes you'll need a pretty decent breath hold to get them out because of how actively you're moving and how hard you're having to work underwater. Not like normal spearfishing at all. See another lobster here, quite shallow in its cave. This one didn't really have anywhere to go, and because of that, I could slowly just put my hand in, get on top of its back. It's very important to grab the top of the back. That's a good tip. If you grab the claws, they'll just lose the claws and you'll never get the lobster out. Make sure you go right on top of the back. Might have to put up with getting pinched a few times. But top of the back, and then just steadily pull it out, and eventually it'll relax and you'll get it. Now, here's another lobster. This one's quite an aggressive little one. So it comes out to try and get my spear. I try to hook the spear in behind it, make a bit of a mistake, goes back in, so I'm straight in the hole, and get my hand right on top of the back, and just grab it and pull it out. Another lobster caught. Now, if you catch a lobster with eggs on it, always let it go. These are the females. We need these for next generation lobsters. Yeah, this is quite a nice size one, plenty of meat on it, but it's released back into the sea to go and spawn. And you can see here, this is a lobster here that was below the minimum size. If you need any help knowing what the minimum sizes are, you can look them up online. If your lobster is below the minimum size, there probably won't be that much meat on it anyway, so it's just best to let it go. Alright, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. For plenty more content like this, please do subscribe. Really helps the channel grow. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and leave a comment, and we'll see you next time. Otherwise, enjoy your spearfishing, have a fantastic spring and summer, and we'll see you in future videos.